Welcome to my yet another online enabled tutorial class. In this class, I'll be taking us on a step-by-step guideline on how to create a business logo. Now, having gotten to our pixellab, what logo are we going to design today? We are going to design the logo that we are going to see now with a letter T and a letter what? X and a shape around it. Let's get started. Stay tuned. You click on your alphabet, which is A. It takes you to what? Your new text. Now you click on edit. You type in the text that you want to edit. You enlarge the size to what you want it to be. I want my own to be 160. Then you increase the left padding to 4, the right padding to 4. You click OK. You change the text color. I want to use red for my T as the text, letter color. And what next? I copy to get the other letter, which is what? Letter S. Letter S, I will want letter S to take color black, to be black color. So now, what are we to do? Let's look for a font that we want our letters to take the shape of. Go to font. If you have a font in mind that you want your shape or your logo to take a look, you click on the font. This is the font I want mine to take. Let me go for S and change it to same font, recent font. Then you click OK. Okay, these are the fonts I want. And now I want to enlarge my letter T. In this course, permit me to an extent be moved while running on this design, but please watch everything I'm doing. When need arises for me to comment, I will say something while on the cost of the design. Thank you. Okay, now I've enlarged my T. I've enlarged my T. And also let me get the shape. This is how our logo is going to look like, but it will seem as if X is interswitched into what? T. Don't worry, when we are done you will see how it looks like. Let's get the shape that we want our TS or ST, whichever you want to call it, we occupy. Let's go to shapes. Okay, let's take this shape. Okay, now this is the shape that we've taken, this shape, but I don't want the color to be in this shape. I want to remove the color by going to opacity and make it what? Transparent. Now I want to give it a stroke. Let's get to stroke. I want to give it a stroke width. Let's give it 10. Let's give it 10. Okay, at this point there is a tool I will be introducing to us, and it is really going to help us greatly in achieving our design. It is what really going to help us what greatly in achieving our design. What is the name of this tool? Is our box tool. It will one help us to know the measurements and the alignment of our what work. So how does this line tool work? Let's see how it works. You click on this setting that appears on the line tool. Let me show you. Okay. This, okay, let me make it more transparent. This, you click on this setting that appear on our line tool. Once you click on it, it will enable you to what? Edit the lines that you've seen and also delete the ones that you don't want. Now let's delete this by clicking the delete. Let's arrange this. Use your hand in moving it to the direction of where you want it to be. Once you click on each and every one of them, now this is it. Okay, this is it. Now what next? We have what set our lines to what we want it to be, but before then, let's see if whether our shape is centralized. Let's see if whether our shape is what centralized. You see, it is not what centralized. So with the centralization done, now let's reshape our line tool. Okay. Okay, yes, I've gotten what I want. Now let me delete this. Okay. Okay. Now this is it. Let me lock our shape. Now what next? Let's work on our letters. Let's work on what? Our letters. But before then, I want to remove, I don't need this cap or the shape on top of this our shape. I want to remove it. How can I do that? Just watch what I'm going to do. Click on the shape, then come to mask. Mask will help us, you see, once I click enable, it has helped us to delete some parts. That is what it has helped us to delete some parts that we don't want. But the part that is deleted by this mask is not the part I wanted to delete. So let me move it out and restructure it, that is change the direction and give it the shape I want it to delete. Okay. You use your hand to move it. Now let's move it. Okay, it has deleted the shape or the side I want it to what? Delete. You click on OK. You see, this is how I want our shape to look like. Now let's bring in our letters back. Now what next? Let's work on our letters. Now stay tuned. We have to centralize each and every one of them to know the position. But before then, I need to enlarge the letters. I want to enlarge the letters. Okay, so what next should we do now? I want this our T to have a tail. I want our T to what? Have a tail. So how are we going to achieve that? Just stay tuned and see. You have to double the T, that's make it appear twice, because you are going to be using one against the other. Then lock one. This is the one that we'll be using. So your mask, come to your mask, then move your mask to where you want it to be. But before then I want to move our letter, the letter T, up. Yes, I want to move it up. So let's go back to our mask, move the mask out, then resize the mask, resize it, then give it the shape you want it to be. Give it the shape you want it to take, then you move it. Okay, I've gotten what I want. Yes, now let's move it downward. Let's move it downward. And bring in our other T. Do you notice anything? They have both tallied to themselves. They have both what? Tallied to themselves. Now, with this T that we cut off, let's duplicate it, because it's really going to be of great help to us in the nearest future. Also our S, let's duplicate it as well. So now we are going to be merging our T and the one that we just cut. Let's merge it together. How can we merge it together? You click this sign that has a good and a bad, that has good dot and a good dash and bad dash. You click on it, it brings you to this shape. The third shape from your left hand side and the second from your right hand side, the third shape from your left hand side, and also the third shape from your left hand side, which is the center shape. That is where it's going to bring you click. Make sure that you are clicking on the text you want to merge. Once you have clicked them good, you click on it, and they will ask you, are you sure you want to merge the selected object? You click OK. So you see how your text now, our letter now have appeared. Once you see, they are now what? Merged together. So this is what? Our letter T. Do you notice any cuts? No, because I was able to align and arrange the T and the cuts very well. So now let's align it the more. Now notice this is no longer a text letter. This is now an object word. So any design you'll be doing now with this will be regards to what? Object enabled options. Let's bring in our S. Let's make our S to come front because it is behind a T. Let's make it come front. So now, what should we do? What should we do now? Okay, stay tuned. Remember, we want to interswitch our letters. We want to interswitch our letters. Simply remember we copied our T that we off. Now we are going to use it. There are so many ways to maneuver this, but I choose to maneuver this through this means. Okay, let's make use of S instead of this. Let's make use of S. Okay, now let's do some. Now, let's get started. Yes, our line 2, let's use it to shape what we will cut off. This will help you to know the parts you will cut off. one thing with this, all this line tool, you need to be precise. Use your eyes to take the measurement. It's not that hard. Just know what you want to get. Okay, so next we introduce this. All this part that you are seeing is the part that you want to cut off. You don't want them to what remain. Okay, now let's lock our grids. Now let's go to our shape. You see the two S now have disappeared. Let's know which one is behind the T and which one is what in the front of T. Okay, this is the one behind the T. Let's lock it. And this one is the one what in front of what the T. Do you notice anything? This is the one in front of the T. That's the one that we are going to be what addicting. This is the one that we are going to be what addicting. Now let's get into our addicting part. Mask. You see it has removed, but this is not what I wanted to remove. Move your mask out, then resize it. Resize it, then set it close to what you want it to. Okay, right. Okay, I think. Okay, it's not aligned. It is not aligned. You can copy it. Once you copy it, you move it to this side. Then you turn it towards this side. You also copy it again. You also copy it again. Move it here. Then turn it angle 90 degrees. Angle 90 degrees. Bring it down. Then copy it again. Take it up. Make it rotate angle 180. All we are going to use is our masks here now for our first mask. Okay, now we are not. Let's move our first mask to align to this line. You see how this shape is. So now I direct it to what align to this line. You see it has moved. It has deleted that shape of X that we don't want to see. And I also tell the one beneath, that is this you see it has what done what I want it to do. So need to be careful with all this. Okay, now you see, this is how our TS now looks like. This is how our TS now what looks like. Let me remove it. Yes, okay, we are still having some cut off. So let's bring back our, we are still having some cut off. One thing with all this, you need to be very what? Precise, because you know, one thing with design, you are not the only one that is going to see it. It's meant to go what places, even where you never think or thought of going. Okay, this is much very better. This is much very better. Now, what are we going to do now? This is how our TS will be. What are we going to do now? What we are going to do now is we will merge our letters together. We will merge our letters together. Now, let's merge our letters together. That's the letters that we use in all this. Let's merge them together. Now, we have successfully, you see the design is took. We have successfully what? Merge our letters what? Together. Now, what are we going to do now? Remember, our text now have now been converted to what? Object format. Object what format? We can't edit this with what? Text option now, but we can edit this with what? Object what? Options now. And what next? What should we do next? What should we do next? What should we do next? Next thing for us to do, we merge all our words work here words together. We merge our shape. We merge our shape and this our ST to take an object format look. Now this is it. You see, everything is now what? Merged together. Let's lock it and work on it now. How can we what? This is how our ST logo design looks like. You see, T is now twinkled within X. So how can we what? Make this to take the shape of 3D or mock-up. This is how we do it. Come to what? 3D rotates and 3D shape. But what we are going to use for this is what? 3D shape. You enable it. You see it has already taken the shape. But this is not the shape that we want it to take. This is not what? The shape we want it to take. Now we have options here. We have the perspective, we have the oblique. This is how the oblique shape we take, but we want it to be what? In perspective. Now, what is the depth of the shape we want to give to our 3D effects? Let's take 20. Let's see how 20 will be like. If it is not conducive, we remove it. You see, all these cut-off lines, we don't want it. For you to remove it, you come down here. This enable, you disable it. You see the shape that it has taken. Once you enable it, it will still remain how it was. But once you disable it, it will take this shape. Which color are we going to use? Which color? Let's use white. Should we use white? Which color do we? Okay, let's make use of a color different, or let's make use of red. Yes, let's make use of red. Yes, now we have red color. This darken is to darken your red color or to what? Make it brighten. Let's give it 20. Okay, now depth, we are done with depth. Now let's take a look at the shape that our logo has taken. You see, this is the shape it has taken. This is the shape. This is the X rotate axis, and this is the what? Y rotate axis. You see the shape it has taken. Very, very beautiful to the eyes. And this is what the Z rotate axis. Now, what's the essence of all these axes? What was the essence of all these axes? All these axes are for you to know the angle at which you want to place your logo. Now, I will want our logo to take this axis. X rotation will take 45 degrees. 45 degrees. While our Y rotation, I want it to take 25 degrees. Is it okay? Okay, 25 degrees. Then our Z rotation, I won't want it to take any degree. I want it to remain at what? 0. So after all this, you click on what? OK. And that is that for what? Your logo what? Creation. Now you take it to center. Now we are done with our what? Line shape, and this is how our logo will take its look. Now what next? Let's save up our logo to give it a new background. Let's save up our logo to give it a new what? Background. And here we'll be saving our logo in 2 different picture formats. We'll be saving it as JPEG or PNG. As what? JPEG or PNG. What is the difference from JPEG and what is the difference from JPEG and PNG? JPEG pictures are those pictures that have background. Yes, those pictures that you see backgrounds are what? JPEG what? Pictures. What about PNG? PNG are those pictures that doesn't have background. You just see them only, and there is no what? No background attached to them. Don't worry, you will see what I meant by JPEG and what? PNG. For us to save this our logo, we go to this file image, click on save image. Okay, look at, we have format JPG, which is JPEG, no transparency. Now for us to change it, I always like save, whenever I'm saving my work, I always like saving it as what? Ultra. I always like saving it as what? Ultra, for a better what? Result. You click on save to gallery. Okay, we are done saving it as what? JPEG. Now let's save it as what? PNG. You come to this arrow that is pointing downward, you click on it, you click on PNG. But before then, you come to this sign that is here. This sign that is here now, you click on it. You click on the sign. It brings you to what? Transparent. It brings you to what? Transparent. Now you can save your logo in PNG format now. PNG. Now Ultra, save to gallery. After we are done saving, we will go and select our images from gallery and also show you how they all look like. With this design or with this step-by-step guide, you can be able to create any logo of any kind you desire or you want to make. Now let's go to our gallery. Let's go to our gallery. Okay, this is pixellab. This is what the PNG format of our what logo, and this is what the JPEG format of what our logo. Mostly this is the PNG that we'll be working with, because now I want to go and change the background of this. Let's go back to our PNG, our pixellab. Okay, we turn to color.
Find some garlic.
Nope. What color we are using in there? Okay, white. Now I want to return all this to how it was before. Make it look like this for some reasons. Okay, now let's bring in some background that we want to change. It's to go to your gallery. If you have your desired background that you want to use, you click your gallery, go to where the background is. If it is this, you get it, then you resize it. You resize it. You resize it, then you lock it up. Then you bring your logo to front. Okay. Let's centralize it. Should we use this or should we just see the plain background? Okay, let's make use of a plain background with color. Background with color. That to say, we need to kind of give our design some beautiful look. Let's come to shadow. Let's come to shadow. Let's change it to black. With this, that is the end of our design. Let me save it up as a project file. That's if you don't want your project with any name you want to. File, project file. So at this point, thanks so much for staying tuned and also for watching.